Jason Oxman, President and CEO of ITI, has highlighted that AI has emerged as a lucrative growth driver across multiple sectors and has emerged as a rapid AI developing country backed by evolving India-U.S. trade framework has further strengthened the bilateral technological collaboration. Let's take a look.
U.S. technology industry is very invested, and I have to also ask you, since India and the United States have agreed on a framework for an interim agreement, we're looking at signing that by March. And of course, ICT, the exchange of ICT in the ICT domain is going to be a key focus. India is going to sort of import ICT products from America. How exactly is the White House, is Washington looking at its collaboration, particularly in the technology space with India? And if you could give me some specifics on that.
It's the most exciting development in the U.S.-India relationship in years. And we all know that the Prime Minister and President Trump have a strong relationship, and that the economies of India and the U.S. have been intertwined for decades. And of course, India and the U.S., as two of the largest democracies in the world, share a value system that makes partnership between the two countries particularly important. So the announcement of the U.S.-India trade deal couldn't have come at a better time. As you noted, it's very focused on technology. And of course, the purchase of technology by India in the U.S. and the investment of U.S. technology companies in India is mutually beneficial. But what's also particularly important is the forward-looking nature of the trade deal, making sure that the two countries work together to ensure that digital trade policies ensure the exchange of both digital and physical goods between the U.S. and India, to make sure that going forward that the regulatory regime in India is aligned with global investment from technology companies. So there's a lot to like in the trade deal.
But even then, Jason, and I'm sorry to interject you, even then global companies will have to follow the law of the land and the digital rules that India has set in place.
That is absolutely right. And what's great about the trade deal is India and the U.S. commit to working together to ensure that those rules of the road are conducive to investment. I think the best example of that is global trade in digital data. So data flows cross borders. And government of India has been very focused on encouraging investment in data centers in India. And that's incredibly important. And you've seen a number of U.S. Data center companies also invest in India.
So what is the kind of scale of investment that you're looking at from American companies here in India?
The scale is absolutely massive.
You have to give us a number.
Oh, sure. You've seen Google announce an investment of over $10 billion, the largest investment it's made in data centers outside the U.S. There are several other data center operators that have made similar multi-billion-dollar announcements. And the government of India has responded. They are working on new programs under the PM's budget to use tax incentives to encourage further investment. But as a policy matter, to your earlier question, I think it's really important that government of India and the U.S. government work together to ensure that data can flow across borders. It's really important to have data centers in India, but it's incredibly important for the Indian economy to be able to access the rest of the world. And flowing data across borders, both in and out of India, ensures that can happen.
And just one final question, by when do you think the implementation of the trade deal is going to take place? What is your hope and expectation?
My hope and expectation, based on the announcement from government of India and the U.S. government, is that they have a sense of urgency. They recognize that these AI developments in particular are happening now, and aligning the appropriate public policy decisions to ensure that those investments can take place also has a sense of urgency. There's also global competition happening in AI right now. The U.S. and China are both working on AI dominance. And the U.S. model is one that India is closer to. We're both democracies, the U.S. and India, and both the U.S. and India share a common sense of the importance of private sector investment. And so I think there's a sense of urgency on both sides to move this forward, and a lot of the announcements that have been made take effect within a matter of days. So I think we have an exciting roadmap ahead for future innovation.
All right, with that, it's a wrap.